Welcome to Village in Motion. Today is Tuesday, November 8th, Election Day. In case you don't remember to vote, in case you haven't voted yet, do remember to vote. You can vote in the lower level of Hunter's Crossing. Do remember to take a photo ID with you, and you can vote until 7 p.m. this evening. So if you haven't voted yet, do put that on your list of things to do today. My name is Susan Gerhardt, and today I welcome Brian Marandola, our Associate Executive Director, and Brian has with him today a guest. Brian, would you like to introduce her?
I would love to. Thank you for having us this morning. So who I have with me is actually Leah Watterson. She is our interim practice administrator. She comes to us from Ashby Ponds, where she is the practice administrator. So in the absence of having our own, Leah has graciously offered her assistance in managing the medical center. So I would like to introduce Leah to the community.
Leah, tell us what a practice administrator is. I'm sure it doesn't mean you're practicing being an administrator.
Not quite. Thank you for having me, and good morning. Being a practice administrator, what that means is basically I'm over the operations of the medical center, including staffing, physicians, physician scheduling, building teams, and working with the partners in Garden Ridge, such as the Director of Nursing and Nursing Home Administrator, Adrian and George.
That is
just
a busy
to name a
job.
little bit.
Thank you for sharing your time with us here. We're just so happy to have your help, and at this time when we're a little short and looking for someone to fill that position.
No problem. I enjoy the work.
Okay.
I do.
Tell us a little bit about what's involved in your job.
Well, day to day, like I mentioned, operations and staffing, working to be sure that we are, using everyone's gifts to their highest. We have our medical assistants and medical office assistants busy making appointments, bringing our patients back, and getting them prepared for our doctors so that they can deliver an excellent experience. You
and I talked about this a little bit yesterday, and as I was thinking about it last night, and you and I are both football fans.
Yes, we are.
It kind of reminded me of a quarterback, that the quarterback has to get all of the team members in place in order to get the football down the field and through the goalpost. And the practice administrator is pulling together all of the people in the medical center, helping that resident toward good health. It's not just about the doctor, it's about the laboratory people and the various assistants and all of the people that help that resident down toward that goalpost of good health. And you're the person who is the quarterback orchestrating all of this. Is that correct?
That's a great analogy.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I think not only that, but if you have to exclude it, it goes beyond the medical center. She also orchestrates the physicians as they move into Garden Ridge to see our residents and the nurse practitioner as well. So she also has an extended building that she has to care for as well.
Yeah.
And that's another piece of it. So it's what you're trying to tell us here is that this is not like when we all were young, where we went to our local doctor's office and knocked on the door and said, in my case, "Hey, Dr. Henderson, take care of me." This is not a medical practice of one doctor anymore. It's a lot of people that come together, and you're the person who helped make that happen for us as residents.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, there's 95% of the residents who live here use the medical center as primary care. That's a lot of patients, a lot of expectations to meet, and of course we want to give a great experience for each and every visit and each and every resident. So,
how big of a medical team do we have here?
Currently we have 5 physicians and one nurse practitioner, but then we have a loaner or another partner from Ashby, Joel Gonzalez, who's coming to help as well. I say we share our gifts. You know, we're bringing our gifts here from Ashby to Green Springs so that we can make sure.
Thank goodness you do. Yes, it's a real team effort.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
How can we as residents help the medical center?
patients.
Yes.
The other form of patient.
P-A-T-I-E-N-C-E.
Exactly. Just give us a call. Give us a call and let us know what your needs are. And we like to accommodate same-day appointments. We do have that option for most docs, just not right now appointments. If you need a right now visit, then ours are you should be in the next level of care, like urgent care center, which is not something that we can provide, but we can do a same-day appointment. So just call us. Let us know what you need. If there's an emergency in the apartment, please pull the cord. Call up on our security partners, and they can help us triage the best level of care for you.
So if I truly have an emergency, I shouldn't try to drag myself down to the medical center and say, oh, I feel really, really bad. This is really a problem. Can you help me?
Right,
then I really should call the security people and get myself to an urgent care center.
Yes, ma'am. Get that first level of triage. They can come and look at you and see exactly what's going on. And a lot of our security folks, our EMTs here, they're first responders, so they can give you that first assessment. The doctor's here on call 24/7, so if they find that it's that urgent, they'll call the doctor on call, or like we said, call 911 if that's the most appropriate level of care for you. But yeah, don't drag it down to the medical center, because you may be frustrated, because then if we say, I don't have an emergency, cart for you, or then I'm going to call 911 for you, that's time. That's time,
Yes.
precious time spent. So.
And we don't want the residents to get into a habit where they assume automatic walk-ins. Again, the doctors are scheduled through the entire day. There's not a moment in their day that they don't have to see a resident. So for residents to assume that they can just walk in without an appointment because they feel it fits best in their schedule makes it really difficult on the physicians to try and fit them in when they just don't know what their day is going to be like. We can assume that they may spend 15 minutes with the residents, but it could be as much as half an hour to 45 minutes.
That's a great point, Brian. The same
And
with
the
the
doctors
lab.
want to spend the maximum amount of time with you. They don't want to have to rush.
Absolutely. And I was saying the same with the lab, with wounds and simple, blood draws or a wound dressing or something like that. Even with our medical assistants, that's scheduled because again, 95% of the residents here use the medical center. That's a lot of volume, and again, we're about giving the best level of care and an excellent experience.
So when we have an issue, when we suspect that there's something wrong, don't put it off.
Don't put it off.
Schedule it. And if you have something that you say, oh, I don't know if I should go and see a doctor, better to schedule it. If whatever it is goes away between the time you schedule the appointment and the appointment,
cancel.
You can always cancel it.
Absolutely. Cancel it.
That makes sense.
We're very fortunate as a community that we have the assistance of Ashby Ponds. Residents talk a lot that they don't need the assistance of Erickson, that we can function on our own. And I think what happened in Garden Ridge over the last 6 months, the assistance we had in dining over the last year, and now the medical center, it truly proves that we need that assistance. It's good to have that support whenever you're in need, because ultimately we're like Disney, we never close.
That's
so
right.
Residents always expect that service every time of day, and we have to somehow supply that demand.
That's right.
That's right.
We have
That's
that
right.
backup.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
And I'm sure vice versa. If Ashby Ponds needed us, we would be there to help, and probably have been.
Well, we've loaned a lot of our dining staff off to other communities.
Yes.
We have.
And I know at one while when Ashby was first built, Kathy Maris, the nurse practitioner here, she came down to Ashby to help with that growth. So this is just returning the favor, and we're
we really
happy
thank
to do
you.
it.
I know you told me that you're driving from Leesburg every day. And thank goodness it's not during a snow time of year.
Thank goodness.
Hopefully we'll secure that position before that.
Yes, we hope so.
I hope so as well.
Yes.
But I'm here for the long haul, so
Well, that's good. We appreciate that.
Sure. Thank you.
Yes, right. Tell us what else is going on in the medical center. What do we need to
Well,
know?
I mentioned 5 doctors for a reason. We have a new physician that has just started. Her name is Dr. Annie Thomas.
Good.
And she's a 4-day-a-week physician, kind of partnering. Dr. Sethi is in the office 4 days a week. So she's backing up, if you will, Dr. Sethi's schedule. So we're just trying to bring on new docs that want to be here. Dr. Thomas is a geriatrician. She had a practice in the area, and she wanted to come here to Erickson. In fact, she was here some years ago, but she was trying to do both. She had a private practice of her own and ran that a little bit, and then she decided, you know what, I think think I want to go back to Erickson Health Medical Group, so we were happy to
Oh, that's
have her
wonderful.
come back. So she's in the office 4 days a week, seeing patients as we speak. So there, again, we're here for you. We hear the need, we see the need, and we're trying to meet that demand, as Brian mentioned.
Excellent. Good.
Then we had a couple MAs that moved on, either nursing school. Helene, she left us so that she can pursue her RN full time.
You have to be happy for her.
Yes, yes. And then Priscilla, she found an opportunity. Priscilla was driving here from Stafford, which
wow.
is about an hour and a half away. And so she found a lead MA position 8 minutes from her home. So we had a
What a
couple
dream.
of, we had a couple of progressions, which is great. So looking for some eager team members that are certified medical assistants, and obviously still caring and supporting the current team that are there. And we're doing more customer service trainings and mentoring in that. So it's a lot of good stuff happening.
Good.
So
Well, we hope we'll find good people soon.
we're working on it.
Brian, we have about a minute left. Any other medical center news you'd like to pass on to us?
No, just as Leah had mentioned, we appreciate the residents' patience as we move forward. We're starting to secure these positions. We're actually in the final stages of interviewing for the medical director's position, so we would hope that all works out, and within the next 30 days we'll have another announcement to make. You know, these positions don't fill in easily. You know, we have to be very, very diligent on those that we look for this position, because they not only have to fit into the community, but then themselves have to feel comfortable about being here.
And you're being selective.
Right.
Well, I think you have to be for
Yes.
every
Want you to be,
position.
yes,
You know, we
yes.
never enjoy losing staff, but unfortunately sometimes that does occur. And for some it's just trying to find the balance of your work life and your home life, and that's really difficult sometimes to do in a business that runs 24 hours a day.
That's right.
You know,
do-
most of us work 12 to 14 hours a day, and some even more than that. So at some point you just have to say, okay, then what's right for me?
Right.
We do have Dr. Thomas Morris coming here too. He's a regional medical director, so Greenspring is one of his campuses. So he's coming in to lean in and take that role on as medical director. So again, we're being very selective, and lots
That's
of support here.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's a real team effort. We
It really
appreciate
is.
Yeah.
It is.
Right.
It's been a fun experience.
I enjoy supporting the medical center. I enjoy working with Leah as
Yeah,
well.
Well,
same,
thank you for stepping
same.
in, and I know that you've been wearing many hats recently.
I have.
Yes, I think that's part of your job.
And if my hair continues to lose, I'll probably wear more hats.
We'll find
I
something,
have some. He can have
something
some.
colorful. Okay. Well, thank you both for coming. It's
Thanks
been
so
very
much.
interesting talking with you. And we'll be right back with a second segment here on Village in Motion.
Thanks
Thank you.
so much for having us.